Isaac Del Toro looking behind. Let's go through. And still the attrition rate. Stoneman Novak, who's done a job. Tadei Pogacar burnt his own team down. They did a great job of holding everything within range until he got to the point where he was going to allow himself to go for it. Ayuso sparked up, went with him. Isaac Del Toro had allowed his own teammates from Mexico, of Freya and Ruvalcaba, to empty themselves. An empty day as well, I'm afraid, for Egan Bernal. Here he is, having a bit of a chat in the pits area. Not going to be for that Colombian, and in fact it's Harold Tejado who's the last of the Colombians out there. We have Richard Carapaz of Ecuador. He's part of this group, and when you hear these names like that, like those two, like the likes of Leknesund, Hershey, who's still very busy for Switzerland, Juan Ayuso, of course, I want to see what he's got left. Carlos Canal, his teammate, at least he's got a teammate. Jay Vine, Michael Storer, Michael Matthews, Jai Hindley. That's a big fighting force from Australia that have kept themselves together. Likewise from Italy, we have Baggioli, Ciccone, Frigo and Garofoli. Tom Pidcock, the sole Brit, remained within this group. Looked a bit second-hand earlier on today, hoping that he can dig deep into the resources, and it's more than just a bronze medal later on. But as Belgium and Australia form themselves into a good fighting group, they also joined here by Italy, and everyone's getting the taste now for a drive for home. Who else is represented up front? Gebre Chabier, one of the last of the Africans here, which is fantastic to see him thriving out front, but nobody more so than Tadei Pogacar and Isaac Del Toro. The Danes with Honoré and Chelmos. We mentioned Italy with Baggioli, Frigo, Ciccone and Garofoli. Utebrechts, Hermans, evenpol for Belgium. And it looks like they may have been put to the sword. 51 seconds. And this is where this pair, who know each other instinctively from, of course, their team, UE Team Emirates, they are serving different nations today, but they could serve up an amazing 1-2 for their trades team and ultimately bring medals to both Slovenia and to Mexico. What colour will each of them secure? And indeed, are we preempting matters? Because the gap is down now to 49 seconds. I still believe that either one of these could win the day, even if it all comes back together. Such is the strength they've shown, Brian.
Yeah, it really depends on what happens behind, but we're talking about the quiet riders being from Italy. They've got 4 riders in this chase group, and they rightly should be committing. You're talking about the Aussies having 4 riders as well. They've got Hindley, Matthews, Storer and Vine. Of course, there can only be one winner. You can't kind of hold back. If you don't bring Del Toro and Pogacar back, then you're right for bronze. That's as simple as that. There's enough numbers in here, even for the Swiss of Christian and Hersey. So to Norway have Leknesund and Svenstad, so they have 2. But there's a lot of riders in here with just on their own. But even if they sit on the back and don't kind of contribute a lot, then you know they're hiding to nothing. So you've got 2 riders from the Netherlands, 3 from France. They've been doing a little bit of riding, but not for the moment. Belgium, well, they've got 3 riders, but they're committing Quinten Hermans. So you can see the Dutch sitting back there. Like, if you don't bring the 2 riders in front and back, then you've got absolutely nothing to play for. You're going for bronze.
I am waiting to see what Sivakov does. He's on fantastic form coming out of the circuit racing that we've enjoyed in Canada as well. So one of the nearest, essentially, to those who have been busy and had great success. Australia have got manpower here, but how can they use it? Jay Vine is just taking himself a comfort break at the side of the road. I don't think he'd pulled the pin. He'd done we should wait and see, of course. Nothing is certain. In fact, this does not look like a comfort break. This looks like day done for Jay Vine. Is it more serious than that? He's taking a relaxed toot on the bidon. I think he's called it a day. I don't think he wants to drive into his teammates, potentially. Maybe that's a factor, maybe not. But he's done a lot of work as Jay Vine He's had a phenomenally successful season. Maybe he's going to leave it to Michael Michael Matthews and Jai Hindley to deliver the job. You can't all take time and indeed take respite and offer yourself up something later on. And Jay Vine, I don't think, is going to be a feature at the pointy end today.
No, which is disappointing for Australia. They did have 4 riders in there, now they've got 3, and I think they needed all 4 riders. The gap's still holding at just over 40 seconds, and you know that was a really difficult part. Now we see Michael Matthews down, so as soon as I say they've got 4 riders, 3, now down to 2 riders. There's a lot of tired legs in here in the chase already. You can see that Switzerland aren't doing any chasing either with Jan Christian and Mark Hirschi. If you leave it all up to the Belgians, this is Quinten Hermans at the front. They aren't coming back, I don't think. Evenpol, well, he's sitting second place now. Quinten Hermans is not going to bring this group back, so I think a little bit like in many other races, once the kind of stronger riders, the duo in front have gone, then who else is going to do the chasing? Tom Pidcock is in his on, so he can't rely on anybody to help. So it's a case of either you communicate with the other good riders in here and try and combine, because one thing you cannot rely on is your teammates, because you know they're dropping like flies.
They are. You don't know the efficacy of what's left in the tank of those amongst you. Tom Pidcock picking it up. You see Carapaz as well in that chase group, just making himself known. But as Brian says, you can't work over the Belgians because you'll end up working over yourself. Every great dish has a number of ingredients, and they're going to have to bring those together if they're going to, I guess, produce the cake at the end of the day and maybe eat it. Let's wait and see. Tadei Pogacar, Isaac Del Toro, they're the ones out front. They're the ones playing the game here in this magnificent country. We're back on the circuit, all familiar. That was a lovely little sojourn, great atmosphere as well, and huge drama, Brian. It's defined the day. We thought it might.
It's incredible, and you know you can see Mohoric and Co. They've done the work today. This is going to, and I know we've got 80 kilometres to go. It was this moment that last year Pogacar decided to go, but you know, thumbs up from the Slovenians there. This is going so well for them. Del Toro is almost a perfect rider for Pogacar to have there. Trade teammate and someone that's got really good form at the moment. And you know, there's no combinations, no nothing. You got 2 Dutch here, Mollema and Arnsman, just sitting on. You get Ayuso's on his own for Spain. You've got so many individual riders here. Belgium have got their whole team at the front here. Hermans, Kino to Brooks and Evenpol. But just look at everybody else, just sitting back. Belgium are not bringing back Del Toro and Pogacar. I'm saying that as a fact. They are not bringing the 2 riders back in front. So that means that for all the other nations, and even Tom Pidcock, if Tom Pidcock wants to win, he has to start to talk to the other riders round about and say, look, if I ride, will you ride? But there's teams in here. Italy, where have they gone?
Yeah.
Italy, I've got 4 riders in here. Yet they're sitting back and allowing Belgium to lose second after second after second.
54 seconds it is now, and no help at all for Belgium. I'm actually wondering who's got the legs to help. We've seen some brave efforts as well. Wonderful kick by Ben Healy, which kind of illuminated a desire to chase on. We had a big coming together. What have we got? 30 riders at that kind of margin within the chase. But the numbers are starting to dissipate. Italy themselves, dare I think that they are back up to full strength, more or less. I think there's 5 Italians here. Baggioli, Ciccone, Frigo, Masnada, Garofoli. What are they doing? Maybe they haven't got the legs. It's as simple as that, Brian.
Masnada's not here.
You're not there, beg your pardon. No. But nonetheless, my screens are just out of shape at the moment. But
yeah, I think Pro Cycling Stats are saying Manaz is not there. It's the riders that are there for Italy: Baggioli, Ciccone, Frigo, and Garofoli. But you're just looking here, looking at.
Wow, he's not happy with something. I don't know whether it's just the day in frustration, but he was beating the hell out of his power meter there.
Yeah, maybe it's something wrong with a connection or something there for Evenpol, but he's clearly not got the form he had in the time trial. But I just can't believe Italy, with 4 riders in that group, and they're just sitting back and allowing. Hang on a second. He's waiting. He's waiting for him.
Yeah, he is.
He wants him. He doesn't. This time last year, he went from this distance, and he's just having a quick word with him. Look, just stay with me. Do what you can, and I'll try and nurse you through this.
Get you a silver medal.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's blown. He's absolutely blown.
Del Toro is out, and for the count, I'm afraid. He put so much into this, and so almost by default, Tadei Pogacar is now going to be forced to have to go.
No.
Well, let's see. Is he still waiting up for him? Offering up a wheel. This offers up an opportunity. Right, watch the clock. 53 seconds. Will it come back down? Portugal kicking on into the gap here. It's Olau that wants to be part of this, and Del Toro gets back on. Young man, don't forget, very much so. He's only 21 years of age, and he's now back onto Tadei Pogacar, his trade teammate. Can he believe and stay with? If he's suffering now, he may suffer again really, really significantly later on. Are they calling for sustenance from the neutral? Maybe he's just had a hunger knock. I don't know. Could be a misfeed. It's a very, very, very long day, this, don't forget. We're approaching 200 kilometres completed. There's 190 done, and a lot will get found out at this kind of distance. And dare I suggest, particularly a young man, of which, of course, Del Toro is. And he's riding amongst the seniors. He could have been in the under-23s. He's 21 years of age, but because of his professional status, he has to race with the big boys. Maybe he's being found out. Evenpol, certainly. He's let his nerves start to fray. He's not happy with the bike. He's not happy with the situation. I don't think he's going to be happy with the results, because, quite frankly, the world time trial champion is in all kinds of bother. There are other riders here as well starting to struggle. What an amazing day.
Yeah, it's just when you thought everything was set, every